Russia. Portugal had their best ever tournament in Dubai 12 months ago. They lead Russia by 8-5 in the series. They last met in Glasgow back in May in the Shield semi-final. But let me tell you that Russia are looking for core team status as they did last year, and they lost out to Portugal in actual fact by 10-5 in Russia in that crucial third place playoff. Portugal led by Pedro Leal. They've lost the services of Federico Oliveira to injury yesterday, and it's Pedro Betancourt who comes in his place. Russia, well, the experienced players, Vladimir Ostrushko and Ivan Kotov, they have more tournaments between them than the rest of the Russian squad put together. But they're learning all the time, and rugby in Russia is gaining pace, and they will want to turn the tables here on Portugal and look to get their second day off to a solid start.
Yes, well, an early start for these two teams. They were here about, what, an hour ago, warming up on the pitch, and, you know, welcome to it. Day 3, actually. Day 2, obviously, of the men's competition. The ladies' competition that finished up yesterday. Magnificent win for Australia. But for these two teams, well, it's all about getting series points win and getting off to a good start. I always say that if you get, wherever you end up on day 1, you've got to come out with day 2 and get as many points in IRB standing series.
Indeed, it's been an early morning start as well for the referees, and the man in charge of the whistle for this opening match is Mr. Ian Tempest of England. 7 minutes each way. It's Russia to kick off from left to right against the Los Lobos, the Wolves of Portugal. And you'll be familiar by now if you've been watching Sounds with the high kicks at kickoffs and restart. The whole object of the exercise being to retain the kickoff, retain possession, because Sounds is all about possession. Side entry is what you might have heard Ian Tempest say, penalising the Russians. We just got a glimpse of their coach there, Alexander Aleksinko, who's a coach of the Kuban Krasnodar. That is the power base of Russian Sevens rugby these days. Carl Murray brings with him a wealth of international Sevens experience on the invitational scene. Now a full 15s international as well. That's Carl Murray, the Portugal number 8.
Release the ball.
A little bit of deception tried there by Portugal, but Russia would have none of it.
Yeah, I've got a lot of empathy with Russia today. Back home in Scotland, it is St Andrew's Day to celebrate the patron saint of Scotland, who is also, incidentally, the patron saint of Russia.
So here you go. I wonder whether Russia will be celebrating here. They shipped 100 points in 3 games on the first day. But as I say, a lot of these players appearing for the first time. Murray, or Betancourt rather, that was taking it into contact, wearing 3 there. Adrito Estevez in the first receiver position, slipping on the greasy surface is Miguel Lucas, who would have watered the surface here last evening, I should imagine, to keep it in pristine condition for what promises to be an exciting day of Sevens rugby at the Sevens, the official home of the Dubai Sevens. Leal, the captain, onto a big Adrito Estevez, taking on the Portuguese defence, and may have opened a gap here, an opportunity for Portugal to claim the first score, and here it is, claimed by Miguel Lucas. But it was an incursion by Adrito Estevez that created the opening, and no wonder Alexander Aleksinko is livid with his boys because they let that happen.
Yeah, Portugal did well. First of all, they went out to the far right here through Estevez, but they recycled the possession. Great switch of play here, and it was the awareness that there was just a delivery of the ball. Well, Portugal finished off yesterday with a 19-12 win over France, and they certainly did improve as the day went on.
Yeah, it was a tough pool for Portugal. They lost by 10-7 to Kenya, 36-0 against world champions New Zealand, and then they put their game together 19-12 against France, and that's a conversion. added to Miguel Lucas's try, and Portugal lead Russia by 7-0.
And just another we mentioned there on Pedro Leal. What a super conversion. And we know at day 2 of this rugby knockout competition how important conversions and restarts are.
And just as you mentioned, somehow Portugal scragging back, but a Portuguese player was caught accidentally offside. The ball came off a Portuguese player. And the temptation is to go for it, of course, and well, you have to play the referee in 7s as in 15s. Wait for the whistle.
Bind! Set!
And the rules of engagement are the same in the scrum area as well. So Russia looking to get back on terms. Let's see what they can do with the ball in hand here. That's Ivan Kotov. And as we saw on the first day, that's the contact area that's proving problematic for a number of sides. You have to stay on your feet and support your body on the legs. Rugby is a game to be played on your feet. Leal has a quick look and considers his options here. André to Estevez offered himself. This is Pedro Betancourt from the University of Porto club.
Time off, wait.
Could be a yellow card here.
3, come here. Okay, we're having too many penalties. Someone will be leaving the field. Back you go.
Yeah, quite right. Ian Tempest saying that Russia have conceded 5 penalties so far in this tie.
So Leal again, looking to orchestrate an opportunity for a try perhaps, but it all goes wrong for Portugal, and Russia have claimed it here through Vladimir Ostrushko. Spreading it wide. This is good work by Eduard Filatov, and Russia will get back on terms here surely. An individual effort there from Eduard Filatov, the youngster from Kuban Krasnodar, well, a gold medalist in the World Student Games in Kazan in July, so he knows what it's all about and learning all the time.
Yeah, watch the footwork, but also ball in 2 hands, and once he got outside Betancourt, he just had a simple run in, but that was excellent footwork from the young Russian.
So the conversion to tie it up at 7 points all from in front of the posts, and there it is, as simple as that. So Russia have struck back here, and they're back on level terms with the Portuguese. Well placed restart. Filatov in on his man. Portugal have it well covered though. Estevez usually plays in the wing position. Now finds himself at first receiver and causes problems for defences. There he is, the big number 1 from the Direito club. Lovely pass out to Betancourt. Not much room on the narrow side here, so they'll have to regroup and start all over again. Carl Murray. Lovely floated pass out to Pedro Leal. The dancing feet of little Pedro Leal. Ball didn't go forward, says referee Tempest. Estevez again posing problems for the Russians. Oh, the gap opened up on the narrow side. Miguel Lucas has already claimed 1 try. That's David Mateus, probably the most experienced player, along with Pedro Leal in this Portuguese lineup.
Yeah, the continuity not happening here this morning for Portugal. Pedro Betancourt dropping the ball.
So this will be the last play of the first half. The first half had just flown by the opening 7 minutes.
Bind! Set!
Portugal have stolen that one, a chance then to regain the lead before Mr. Tempest blows the whistle for half-time. David Mateus takes the ball into contact. Aided and abetted there by Carl Murray. The try scorer Lucas, the long floated out pass, and Estevez did well. Still going, and just finds himself in touch, and that'll be the whistle for the end of the first half, and it's even Stevens a try apiece. Portugal 7, Russia 7 at half-time.
Your captain, okay? If you want to talk to me.
Well, we saw Federico Oliveira yesterday wince as he came down heavily from a line out. It looks as if he won't be around for a while, and the news is that it may be a month or so before he's back in harness.
Nós estamos a fazer ao contrário. Em vez de entrarmos e andar para a frente em velocidade, estamos a ficar parados e depois é que estamos a bater. Vira ao jogo e depois ataque em velocidade. Ou então, montamos logo. Senhor, já somos
Alexinko, man from Moninho, near Moscow, coached youngsters for a while in the capital before accepting an offer to be the head coach of Kuban Krasnodar, some 750 miles southeast of Moscow. So it's described recently as the land of champagne wishes and caviar dreams, alluding to the fact that Krasnodar is home to the Russian wine industry and where caviar is harvested from the sturgeon of the nearby Azov Sea. And the champagne wishes, the champagne dreams certainly of Russia would be to claim a core status on the HSBC Sevens World Series stage. So here we go then with the second half of this first bowl quarter-final. It's all tied up at 7 points all between Portugal and Russia. Again, Russia, well, they're fortunate to reclaim or to claim the kick-off. Strushko probing the wide outside. There is Ivan Kotov. Made his debut in Hong Kong some 3 seasons ago. Portugal, the passing isn't as smooth as they would wish it to be, but Betancourt just brushes aside the challenge of Ivan Korotkov, loading to Betancourt. Well, for once, and into Estevez's hands let him down. Estevez in full flight, 67 tries to his credit.
Yeah, just the spill by Estevez, it's an absolute killer, isn't it? You run all that distance. I actually thought that Pedro Betancourt could have actually got to into the corner. However, he did the right thing, he pulled back, he had Estevez there, and really the simplest of errors.
Yeah, and speaking of errors, Portugal committed 4 errors to Russia's 3. So a long way out then. The shadow of their own posts to change the direction from Russia. Kotov and support. They're looking to release the pacey runners on the outside. Mikhail Kudinov is the man that wears 4, looping around his colleague Ramil Gaisin. Strushko, desperate to keep the ball in play. Didn't happen for Russia that time.
We will have the line.
Well, just looking at this clock, 5 minutes. Of course, knockout rugby on D2.
Yeah, the bowl competition is the second tier competition for those teams that failed to make it through to the main cup competition. Vladimir Ostrushko, 59 tries for Russia, and we've witnessed a few spectacular tries from the man from the NSA club. Portugal looking to restore that lead they had early on, and they could get a try here. David Mateus looking to reach out, but good defence initially from Russia. They can't prevent Carl Murray, though, from adding to Portugal's tally. It's a second try for them.
Yeah, good attacking skills here. Look at the change of the angle. Bang, Mateus off his left line, off his right peg, and then the follow-up procedure.
David Mateus, a regular in the Portugal side over the years, a twin brother of Diego, also an international sevens player who is now the manager of Portugal. And as we have seen in recent times. Former players do step up to a managerial or coaching role. Just 30 seconds these days for kickers to take the conversion. That's a change to the old order, where it was 40 seconds. It's now down to 30, as the organisers and the officials want to speed up the game a little more. And some players, of course, the experts at running down the clock or using the clock to their advantage. The clock tells me that we are halfway through the second half. Now this first bowl quarter-final, and Russia will get the put in at the scrum. Russia at one time, well, they did play their 7s as they played their 15s rugby, and utilising the strength of burly forwards, but they have a little more finesse these days. But again, Scott, some of their leading players are not available this weekend, so it's an opportunity for Alexander Aleksinko to blood some youngsters.
Yeah, it's been good to see a few new players in, but it's, you know, somebody like Streshko has been such an influence there. Jan Yuskin, for example, the wee scrum half, who's not here today.
David Mateusz, poor tackling from the Russians, and David Mateusz is home and dry for Portugal's third score. While you have to question the defensive skills there of the Russian team, and they're just looking at one another, just dropping off the tackles.
Yeah, you could see Ian Tempest, the referee, asking the Russians to get back into shape, and because they hadn't got their defensive alignment there sharp, it allowed Mateusz just to sort of get through, gets the handoff, but finds the space behind that defensive line.
You haven't seen me with anything else. It's a big player.
So the kick is good, and Portugal have extended their lead to 12 points, and with 2 minutes remaining, Portugal lead Russia now by 19-7. Portugal finished 14th in the rankings last season, a core team in 2012-2013, having won the third and fourth game in Hong Kong in 2012, and we would hope to go one better this year, certainly, in Pedro Leal, putting Portugal on the front foot, almost up to the Russian 22, dug out there by Adalberto Esteves. Carl Murray looking to barge his way through, looking for support, and gets it from David Mateusz. Now then, 1 or 2 passes here into midfield from Leal to Betancourt, and this is good from Portugal. Thomas Noronha, well, we saw him yesterday score or pose problems for defences, and he's a tricky little customer, and he gets his reward for his endeavour there. That's Thomas Noronha, the newcomer, playing in his first competitive HSBC Sevens World Series tournament.
Yeah, 4th try for Portugal, and watch the footwork once again. Comes inside, straightens, and then goes on the outside. Look at this, good footwork, bang, out he goes. Strushko left for dead, and that's excellent play by the Portuguese player.
Yeah, just 22 years of age, and we're looking at the new order probably in Portugal, and the old order there as well in Pedro Leal. A mixture of youth and experience in this Portuguese side. Blooding some new caps, and there's a big emphasis in Portugal on sevens rugby now that it is an Olympic sport, of course.
In all the last 3 kickoffs that Portugal have had, there's been 2 errors from Russia to spill ball, and on each occasion they've collected the ball and then scored.
Carl Murray again sucking into Russian defenders. Mateusz out wide on the left. Adalberto Esteves gets back into place in midfield. There he is, taking the pass again. Portugal relying heavily on the likes of Adalberto Esteves and also Pedro Leal. Of course, this is Manuel Costa. Another bringing the experience of 6 tournaments as the hooter goes then. This is the last throw of the dice for Russia to get another score if the ball can be controlled by Alexander Romanov. But the defence is good again from Thomas Noronha. Leal on his own try line, and if Portugal can get the ball in hand, they will kick it out. Ball knocked forward, and Ian Tempest blows the whistle to bring this first bowl quarter-final to a close. And Russia were well in it at the break, but then 3 quickly taken tries there by Portugal in the second half when they're safely through to the bowl semi-final. And Russia, well, they are consigned to the lowly Shield competition, but they still have an opportunity, of course, of claiming a trophy here at Dubai in 2013. But for now, we'll congratulate Portugal on a job well done. And the final scoreline reads Portugal 24, Russia 7.
Portugal captain Pedro Leal. Pedro, you looked a little bit tired yesterday. I know a lot of you have been playing 15s last weekend, 7s now. That was better though.
Yeah, better. Yesterday against France was much better. Against Kenya we were unlucky, but I think the guys, it's been a while that we didn't win a game on the first game of the second day. So we are happy and we want to play a final here.
Yeah, Samoa and Australia in this bowl. There's some tough games ahead.
Yeah, really tough games. There's no easy games. So we are going to play whatever he comes.
Thanks, Pedro.
Thank you.